There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never left you stealing me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. Gates is not the only bill that I've been observing, and not the only bill that I find kind of disturbing. Let's go back to the year 1986 and meet the 99th Congress. What a bunch of dicks. They came up with H.R. 4456, the Child Vaccination Act. And here's a wild, fascinating fact. If your company that you own and they supply the vaccine, somebody died, nobody gets tried in a court of law at all. Problem solved. No retribution, no legal solution. You all scot-free. Watch me. Hop on a plane with Mr. Epstein. Now boarding the Lolita Express. Whoa, look over there, man. Is that Eminem and Stephen Colbert? And look, it's the two Bills, Clinton and Gates. Oh man, and they look like they're hitting on that girl that we met on the plane. The one that was with Ghislaine. I think her name was Courtney. Shit, she's only 14. We need to get the fuck up out of here. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never let you stealing me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Now, let's say that you got a foundation and almost all your donations, they're directed toward the containment of a particular contagion. And one of your experts, he's kind of grouchy, his name is Mr. Fauci. He comes up with an equation. Fear plus persuasion equals the creation of a frightened nation whose panic and lack of education and only wanting just some protection from this agent of infection, they head in your direction and they ask Mr. Bill for their injection. Wanting just protection from this agent of infection. Why don't you go get your shine box? Your direction. Go get your fucking shine box, Tony. Injection. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you stealing me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Dear Bill, I wrote you, but I keep getting returned to sender. I've even tried your wife Melinda, but she's putting a block on my calls. There's a rumor she might have a cock and balls. I apologize for the cursing. I guess you two are never in the same room at the same time, so people think you might be the same person. But anyway, fuck it, man. What's been up? How's the vaccine biz? I know you wish that everybody was on board like Maxine is. Oh, guess what? My wife's pregnant again. You remember Myrtle? Yeah, I always seem to wind up with the skanks. And what's up with you having 3 kids? I thought Melinda was infertile and you were shooting blanks. And what's up with all these tanks? I see them being transported on a train. Is that for martial law? This shit's getting insane. You remember when I met you in New Delhi and you were complaining that it was really smelly? Well, I asked you if it was safe getting that polio vaccine and you said I was making a great decision. Yeah, well, my daughter's okay, but my son Micah, he lost his vision. Yeah, it's been some time and a lot of tears now. And Micah, he's been blind for years now. He's gotten pretty good at walking with a cane, though. Anyway, hit me up, yo. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, you never let me steal me. I feel your divinity vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is Wednesday, and the election is heating up. Ooh, doggy. Oh, is it entertaining to you, or are you done with it already and ready for it to all be over? I think I'm more the latter on that one, to be honest. So let me go ahead and check out who all is in chat. We have M, the first one here, saying hello. OMG is in here, and you're so mad at Americans. Americans or no, Americans. There you go. OMG says Trump's lawyers have lawsuits in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Rudy Giuliani. Yeah. Good thing that he got Amy Comey Barrett in there beforehand, right? Oh, JPTV3 is going to be loving this. Canada has the best top doctor, Teresa Tam, Chinese woman with an Adam's apple. Now says everyone should wear 3 layers of mask material. Oh, you can breathe too easily. We need to fix that. Tell me when I can't breathe properly enough to make it safe for me to go outside. Meanwhile, I'm choking for oxygen. Need to get a lawsuit going here in Arizona. I'm so tired of masks. There's only one good thing, anonymity. That is the great thing about the mask. But they still have so many ways to track you. I think they don't mind you wearing a mask anymore because you have to drive there in something, right? They got cameras out in the parking lot. You know they do. We've seen it before. And they can read your license plate with that. They know who you are. If you pay with their debit card, they know who you are. So in order to be anonymous, you would have to go there on the bus and pay cash for the bus and pay cash for anything at the store, and probably take a couple buses on the way home so you don't get your movements tracked, right? That's how hard it would be to still be anonymous even while wearing a mask. Because if they really wanted to find out who you are, they can pretty much backtrack everywhere you go via camera. That's how many cameras we have in most major cities nowadays. Irish USMC vet is in the house. What's up, my brother? WTF over. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. It's not over, says Riddle Girl. Broken Patriots in the house. It's over. I don't know. We're going to talk about it a little bit tonight and what we're going to do going forward. So, as some of you know, there is some... I don't know if you follow the news without watching my channel. I would hope you do, because this should not be your only news source. But if it is, there's a lot of controversy going around, especially here in the state of Arizona, where we have what I like to call Sharpie Gate. And when we voted, I actually talked to the people at the voting booth like, my votes are bled through. This isn't going to be a problem. Oh, no. That's not a problem. It's fine. Now, I put mine in the reader, and it read it, and supposedly, I don't know, it did a lot of beeps and boops, and then said, you voted, you know. So there you go, and I got let out. Riddle Girl, however, was told that she filled something in outside the line, and it didn't read it properly, so she had to spoil her ballot. Mm-hmm. So they wrote spoil on it, and she was supposed to throw it away, but she wanted to take it home.
And they wanted me to shred it, and I was like, no, I'm keeping it.
Right. They wanted her to shred it. She wanted to keep it. And I guess there's no law saying that you can't keep it, so she kept it. So we have it. Right? And, yeah, we're not the only ones. Our voting place was not the only one. It was almost all of Arizona, if not all of Arizona. Right? And, ooh, that was really loud in the microphone. I do apologize. But here you go. Here is the ballot. Oop, it's upside down, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, spoiled is upside down, right? So there you go. There's the Sharpies. And you can see a little bit of a bleed through on the other side.
It's really bad on the back side.
It's really bad actually down here. When we get down Yeah, you can see right there next to Alderman JR. And you said it's really bad on the other side?
Yeah, you can really see it.
See that? That's bleed through. And
that one that looks like it has two nose right next to each other on Palmer.
Palmer has two nose.
Yeah, see that?
All the bleed through on this side. You can see all the bleed through on the left-hand side of the names. And right here under Hannah John, right by my pinky, Hannah John R has two nose. So does Gates Pamela Frazier. And here's one. Retain Davison 75 Driggs Adams. Looks like almost a yes and a no. So there you go.
Yeah, so that was the one that the machine spit out, and then I filled out another one and was really careful to not press so hard, so hopefully it wouldn't bleed through.
Right. Stinger's News Network. SNN. Ooh. Have a little scorpion on the bottom doing part of the N on the last N.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Broken Patriot might be onto something there. Quick question. There's a rumor that the ballot has a watermark. Is that true? I don't think it is. No. I don't know.
I didn't see one.
I didn't notice, but a watermark is not supposed to be that noticeable. Do you have any idea where that watermark is at? So I am not seeing one, and I'm looking at it at an angle. Not seeing one on that side. I don't see a watermark. I don't. No, I don't see a watermark on that. Okay, so
Davis.
What?
Say hi to Walter Davis.
Hello, Walter Davis. Let's get into the chat. What's up? How are you doing? Let me go ahead and switch it over to live chat right now because Riddle Girl's already on me for chat. I'm here, says Broken Patriot. Good news. Good evening, all, says Walter Davis. And put it up against the light. Okay. No, I do not see a watermark. Unless it's like maybe in the corner. Is that a watermark or is that on the other side? And just, yeah, there's no watermark on it. None. Get those likes up. Well, thank you very much, Broken Patriot. Okay, so Arizona's in play. A lot of people are calling Arizona, but it is still in play. Especially with the whole Sharpie incident, right? Now, also, we have some issues in Michigan. How when we left you all last night, Michigan was pretty handily in Trump's camp. And we're going to read a news article later in this broadcast about how in the wee hours, about 3 in the morning, a whole bunch of ballots came in, and 100% of them were for Biden. And ever since then, because they were supposed to stop counting, remember? They said, we're stopping the counting for tonight. We will continue in the morning. And then at 3 a.m., way before they were supposed to start counting again, a whole bunch of ballots came in. All, 100% for Biden.
Pretty sus.
And not only that, but it then put Biden in the lead. And now he's going to win Michigan most likely. This is why it's not over yet, Irish. It is absolutely not over with. They're going to be fighting this. It's going to be a drag-out fight. I guarantee it now. Unfortunately. It was not a blowout either way. I was wrong. I was hoping that it would be settled in the first evening. It looked like it was going to, but then they had to stop it for some reason. Oh, we got to stop counting because it's late. No, it wasn't that late when they stopped. It was not that late. We've gone later than that on past elections. Why we decided to stop when we did, I don't know. Was it because he was leading, or Trump was leading in Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania? Is that why we had to stop? Did we have to stop it because there was going to be potential riots, or did we have to stop it because we found some extra ballots that were all 100% Joe Biden? That's my question. And there was even some video, and I couldn't find it. There's some video, I saw it on Steven Crowder this morning, of Michigan using construction paper or particle board. I don't remember what it was. It was some sort of thick cardboard that you can't see through. Poster board.
Oh, thank you very much, Armed. Can't get to my keyboard in time.
Thank you very much, Armed Archangel. I appreciate that. So there was poster board that they covered up windows in the polling place while they were counting the votes. They covered up all the windows, and they had video evidence of that on Steven Crowder today. I have not been able to find the video, the raw video of that. I would love to find that. If any of you know of that, let me know. The loose Chad Sharpie, bad joke. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm just saying it's up to play because we still had 20% of Arizona not reporting, and it was like of the major red areas, red counties. Yavapai County, for one, is hugely in the bank for Trump. And I am curious about this Sharpie thing, and I mean, I want to recount for sure.
HDP shared covering windows with cardboard, and then there was another one on Twitter.
He shared that on his YouTube channel?
No, on Twitter.
Okay. Send me the link for that.
He shared 2 of them, so I'll send you both.
Okay. Okay. Every state that is delayed is ran by Democrats. Sharpie married Chad. And double A. What's up, BP? Okay, great. Let's get on to the web pages, shall we? First and foremost, we have Mr. Guns and Gadgets right here. It's a short video we're going to watch. Oh, hold on, you can't hear it.
Last day and a half, because everything is focused on the election. And I figured I'd come on and talk to you all real quick. What do you guys think of this fiasco? We have to be the laughingstock of the world right now. There has been an immense amount of fraud discovered in several different states, from bags of 100,000 plus ballots that just happened to be found to bags of ballots being thrown away. It's crazy. It appears right now that this is heading for the courts. And the sad part is that the media isn't covering anything regarding the types of fraud out there. For instance, Pennsylvania changed rules regarding ballots 12 hours before the election. Like, this is ridiculous. Going forward, I hope that both the Democrats and Republicans think of America's future and work on a bill that will basically spell out how each state should do this. Every state and territory does it their own way.
It should be the
We're
same.
seeing that play out to the laughing stocks right now. It's great. It's insane. So just a quick video to let you know that I am on pins and needles, just like everybody out there. Both sides of the aisle, no matter how your friends and family voted, were stressing about this. It might be another 5-6 days before we realize who the winner is, and that's depending on the court battles that are ongoing right now. Also, we learned 4 years ago not to trust these pollsters. And I was watching Fox News last night, and several times they were claiming this state was won by Biden, and then it switched to Trump. And in fact, I'm looking at it right now off screen, and Maine, we still don't know who's won Maine, and they claimed that was Biden really early last night after the polls closed. So, question of the day, what do you think is happening? What is your view of the last 24 hours? Light up the comment section down below. Guys and gals, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for...
So it was a short video. Check him out if you don't already know about Guns and Gadgets. He's pretty good. I watch him a lot, and I put him on this channel quite a bit. He's got good information. Bryce says, dude, you should do a video on this and send it to Crowder. I did, Riddle Girl sent a picture of her ballot to Crowder while we were watching his live stream. He didn't address it there, but I'm sure a lot of people sent stuff. You weren't allowed to take pictures in there, and it's just by luck that she was able to bring that out. And that's, as I said, a spoiled ballot, because apparently she didn't fill it out correctly, or the machine didn't like it. What do you think, or do you want a link? Sorry, M says, do you want a link for the burning ballot guy? Yeah, sure. I don't think I know that story. Bri, hey, put a call out. He put a call out. Yeah, I know. I was watching it. That's when we sent him, I think, pictures, Riddle. And did you tweet it to him too?
Yep.
Tweeted and emailed to him.
I haven't heard anything back.
I haven't heard anything back. No.
All right, so I sent you 2 separate emails because the first one I sent you just didn't want to paste in, so I had to send it from my phone. But so the one that says tweet from Mike Church and the one that says tweet from Roscoe B. Davis, those are the 2 with the cardboarding and poster boarding of the windows.
Okay. All right. Let's go here. You can see that. And what was the other one? The Michael Church?
Yep.
And that. Okay, so let's watch this again in full screen. Why are you doing that? What are you hiding? Yeah. See, that's shady. That's very shady. This was the scene at Detroit's absentee ballot counting center. It is growing more heated. The windows are now being covered up. Allegations of violations. Secretary of State says she welcomes challenges. I covered Bush and Gore 2000, and this is exactly the way it began, and it's going to escalate into all manner of subterfuge and villainy. Media bigs will jockery for the title of the official tally, and billions will be made on ads and clicks. All schisms divides. No one will win. Poll watchers locked out. Locked out. And the windows blocked in Wayne County, Michigan. Wow. So what are you guys' thoughts on these? Think that's going to matter? I don't think people might get in trouble. Will anybody go to jail? Probably not. Will it change the outcome of the election? I don't know. Riddle Girl is just now emailing me another thing from OMG.
Yep.
It's a picture.
Yeah, so it's showing what you were talking about, how there was a spike in only Biden votes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge spike. Let's see if I can't. Well, that just makes it smaller. All right, let's see if I can't make this happen. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you, OMG, for sharing this. You can see the vote tallies. This is for Michigan. Okay. Here we go. Goes all the way up. Now, they were supposed to stop counting votes. There's no change. I forget exactly when they were supposed to stop counting votes. It doesn't, well, I don't know if this is 4 o'clock, 4:06. I guess this is 4:06. Right? And then all of a sudden, big jump. Right there. Straight up. 100% votes for Biden. All in one little area. It's very interesting indeed. Thank you for that, OMG. Okay, let's get back to the stories. Here we go.
Detroit, 2,000 registered voters were dead. One was born in 1823, and there were more registered voters than qualifying residents of Detroit.
Well, there's always dead voters. All right, I'm going to quickly do the chat, and then we're going to get on to the different story, okay? He was putting a call. Okay, I read that. Let's see. When Biden came out to talk to the crowd, it was all Jeeps in the crowd. I have some F-bombs in it. Be warned, says M. Or it has some F-bombs. Dude, we curse here. I'm going to copy the link location. I'll do that in a minute. Make sure nobody sees them cheating. Please send me a link to that video, the cardboard crap.
I did.
Okay, what the hell happened? Could anybody really cheat that much? Skyrim. I don't know, man. All I know is I don't really like it putting cardboard up. That's not holding an open and honest election. It's just not. You know what I mean? Let's see. So much for open and honest elections. Detroit, 2,000 registered voters were dead. One was born in 1823, and the other more registered voters than qualifying residents in Detroit. The rule of law has been long gone for quite some time. This will to power stage of events. This is the will to power stage of events. You're not wrong. How can Arizona be in play? Importing Californians and Mexicans. That's how. Arizona has been a very red state for a very long time. I left the state back in 2000. Okay, so I lived here from when I was born until 2000. I moved to Wisconsin for 10 years. I came back in 2010/11, right? While I was gone, this state turned purple. They elected Janet Napolitano as the governor. And then Janet Brewer replaced her when she went to go work for Obama in 2008. So how do you elect Napolitano here in Arizona as the governor is beyond me. It's crazy. The state has definitely changed since I was a kid, and I have been looking to get out of it for a long time. Even if we come back and Yavapai County comes back and all the red counties make it so that Trump maybe might win. If Trump wins Arizona, if Arizona flips back into Trump, even with Detroit or even with Michigan and Wisconsin going to Biden, Trump would still win if he can get Arizona. So there is that path as well, right? There's some controversy here with the Sharpie gate. And not to mention, they called it before they even counted like the deepest, reddest counties in the state. Let's see, I already read that. Nevada, not Arizona. I hear Arizona's back in play. It is somewhat. Arizona Republic newspaper used to be called the Arizona Republican. Okay, I left Arizona in the year 2000. So did I. And apparently the place went to crap afterwards, right? Okay, Sharpie controversy leads to GOP outrage over Arizona voter suppression fraud. President Trump's campaign remained confident that the media who prematurely called Arizona for Democratic Joe Biden would be forced to dial back those claims when all votes were tallied. When we look at Arizona, we believe that Trump will win somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000 votes, Stephen said in a call with reporters. We think anyone who has called this race is just plain wrong. That's how they don't understand how this state works with the ballots that are coming in. And they don't understand the dynamic that our people were voting on election day, he added. As with the other toss-up states where ambiguous results have clouded the election and ruined the possibility of a decisive non-contested victory for either candidate, alleged allegations of nefarious vote fraud shenanigans were beginning to emerge. In Glendale, which is kind of close to Broken Patriot, for example, 18 stolen ballots were found under a rock, according to a local authority. But the biggest outrage on Wednesday concerned voters in Maricopa County who were given Sharpies to mark their ballots. And that's where I live. Something is going on. 5 polling places in Arizona handed out Sharpies instead of pins, and here's what happened. The Sharpies bleed through to the other side. I hope they count the Sharpie votes. And I remember, and I told Riddle Girl this at the time, I asked him, what the heck is this? It's bled through. Is that going to affect it? And the guy's like, no. It's going to be totally fine. Now, mine read, but who am I to say it actually read it properly? You know, I'm not a technician on that machine. I don't know how that machine works. I feed my vote in there. It counts whatever it counts, and then I move on. I would like to know what my vote reveals. I would like to see what my vote is according to the machine. And I'd like to confirm it just for myself. I wish I could. I probably can't. Maybe my vote won't count now. I don't know. Many voters reportedly registered their confusion and concern over the move, and rightfully so, as calls surfaced for those votes in the GOP heavy district to be invalidated. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich said he was seeking answers from the election officials in the county. We've received hundreds of voter complaints regarding Sharpies at polling locations. Accordingly, we sent a letter to Maricopa County election office officials. Let's get some answers. Oregon decriminalized hard drugs like cocaine, heroin, and meth. Oregon is now decriminalized hard drugs like cocaine, heroin, and meth. That just popped up. Hold on. I'm at least going to open that and save that one for later. That's crazy. Look at this. Nationwide push to relax drug laws took a significant step forward Tuesday as voters made Oregon the first state to decriminalize the possession of small amounts of street drugs such as cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. Meanwhile, 5 more states legalized marijuana for adults, including Arizona. So we're going to have to do a stone chat. The drug measures were among 120 proposed state laws and constitutional amendments that were on the ballots in 32 states. They touched on an array of issues that have roiled politics in recent years: voting rights, racial inequalities, abortion, taxes, and education, to name a few. The Oregon Drug Initiative will allow people arrested with small amounts of hard drugs to avoid going to trial and possible jail time, and by paying a $100 fine and attending an addiction recovery program, the treatment centers will be funded by revenues from legalized marijuana, which was approved in Oregon several years ago. Today's victory is a landmark declaration that the time has come to stop criminalizing people for drug use. The proposal was endorsed by the Democratic Party as well as some nurses and physicians. There you go. What's my take on this? If you've been a watcher of my channel for any length of time, you kind of know what that is, and that is that I think it should all be decriminalized. It's unfortunate that it has to be a Democratic thing. It's unfortunate that the reason why they're doing it is to keep them dumbed down, right? I know, I kind of see why they would do that. Hey, let's get them stoned, let's get them high, let's give them their drugs for free. They're going to vote for us for the rest of their lives. And they're probably right. That's the wrong reason to do it. That's probably the reason they are doing it. It's unfortunate. I think it should be more of a liberty thing, not a more slavery to the system kind of thing. You know what I mean? Oregon is going to be a real joy. There's no such thing as a small amount of meth. No? Okay. Sharpie Gate. Trending as Maricopa County voters report canceled ballots. That would be Riddle Girl, but you got to redo yours at least. That was a spoiled ballot. I think this might be that they're throwing them out.
Yeah, because those are the early voters, right? They went and they mailed them in or whatever, right? And if you didn't actually go there and put your thing in the machine, and you don't get another chance.
You don't get another chance. Another reason why I don't like going in or early voting. I know a lot of people do. It's just not my thing. Social media has seen a hashtag SharpieGate trend. I should have done hashtag SharpieGate. Trend as Maricopa County voters are sharing their experiences at the polls. You know what? I'm going to do that real quick. Hold on a second, guys. Just hang on with me. I got to change this real quick. Yeah. Is this one? Yeah. Okay. Hashtag Sharpie. Where is it? There we go. All right, so they were sharing their experiences at the polls on Tuesday due to the fact that they were forced to use Sharpie brand type markers to complete their ballots. The use of markers causing many ballots to be set aside while tabulating machines rejected them due to the bleed through of the ink. Voters are reporting the same issue in mostly conservative areas of Maricopa County. House Majority Leader Warren Peterson noted on Twitter that he had been hearing from his constituents that these ballots were canceled because poll workers gave them Sharpies. Maricopa County Community College Board member Kathleen Wynn told the Arizona Daily Independent Adrian Fontes has turned what was once a well-regarded office into a political machine. From crossouts to Sharpies and Fonte's employees openly advocating for the Biden-Harris ticket, what possibly could go wrong? We've seen what could go wrong. We must fight for every election integrity to be maintained. Earlier this year, Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fontes was sued for his decision to provide instructions to voters to cross out votes cast in error rather than requesting a new ballot. The Arizona Supreme Court sided with attorney Alex Colden, representing an election integrity group, forcing Fontes to remove the instruction. The Sharpie bleed-through issue would have the same effect in that it would force poll workers to discern a voter's intent. Wow. So they might have to go through and look at every single ballot and determine if it's bleed-through or if it's an actual vote for that candidate. You thought the hanging chads was impressive? Wait until you get Sharpie bleed-through. Okay. Oregon. Okay, I already read all that. Fraud alert. And this goes with what OMG just shared with us recently. Why did Biden get 100%? 100% of Michigan and Wisconsin votes. Not just Michigan, apparently also in Wisconsin. He got 100% of Michigan and Wisconsin votes in the wee hours. On the plus side, it looks like Democrats finally figured out how to flatten the curve. Shenanigans unfolded exactly as predicted in several blue-led battleground states where President Trump translated a heavy campaign presence into encouraging leads only to see them suspiciously erode overnight. Let's see. One update appeared to add nearly 130,000 votes in Michigan, all for Biden. Are you kidding me? How is this not, if this is allowed to happen, it's already over, but that's just another nail in the coffin. Some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about election or other civic processes. So they got fact-checked on this, right? But they have some polls here or whatever. Some commentators online suggested the graphic, appearing to show live screenshots from verified Twitter user Matt was manipulated. Twitter itself removed the widely shared tweet it had been aggressively doing with many of those that case aspirations on the vote tally. Okay. Several of President Trump's tweets were given a disclaimer, something Twitter has said announced in advance it's part of its pre-bunk campaign to censor and discredit information from right-leaning sources. The Trump campaign said it would demand a recount in Wisconsin, good, and at least one Michigan county where GOP state officials noted a suspect Biden victory. Said it was doing a careful recount and review of the ballots. The Trump campaign also announced it has launched a lawsuit to halt the state from its illicit collecting and counting of late ballots. But anti-Trump officials, including Michigan's Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, pushed back by insisting that their so-called election integrity safeguards and protocols were the reason for the delays. Many of the rules were controversially changed at the last minute. That's that last 12 hours change they did, and under auspices of the Rona emergency measures. Despite the efforts by Trump's legal team to challenge the arbitrary and inconsistent rules regarding mail-in voting, courts wavered on whether unelected administrative officials have the authority to circumvent GOP state legislators in places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. Pennsylvania, which would be a key race if Michigan and Wisconsin count stood, had what Trump described as an insurmountable lead late on election night. However, officials in Philadelphia who had delayed their counting as totals from elsewhere in the state came in continued to seek opportunities to erode that margin, with 80% of precincts reporting as of Wednesday afternoon Trump's lead had narrowed to around 450,000 votes. Pennsylvania's Secretary of State claimed that there were millions left to be counted. Meanwhile, additional questions linger about Georgia and North Carolina, states where Trump continued to lead by narrow margins as left-wing election officials sought to slow walk the final tallies and discover new ballots. The Supreme Court allowed a lower court verdict to stand that allowed Pennsylvania to continue accepting mail-in ballots through Friday, regardless of whether signatures and postmarks were verifiable. So it doesn't even have to have a signature. This is where I have a problem. You want to request a mail-in ballot? That's fine, but you have to be a registered voter and you have to sign for it. Just sending them out and then having them come back without a signature or any way to prove that it was one person, that's not correct. He announced that the state had recently found the ballots to overturn a commanding election night lead by Republican challenger John James, who hoped to unseat the Democrat incumbent Gary Peters in a closely watched Senate race in Michigan. Wow, it looks like Michigan has now found the ballots necessary to keep a wonderful young man, John James, out of the U.S. Senate. What a terrible thing is happening. Election fraud.
There's been a lot of chatting. You probably want to scroll up a bit.
Well, you guys didn't chat at all during the last story. Now you're hitting me up. All right. Looks like Biden will win if votes continue to be counted. I don't know, Warrior for Truth. I think we're in for the long haul. I think there's a lot of shady stuff going on. The 100%, 300,000 votes, 100% of them were for Biden at 3 a.m. after they were supposed to not be counting ballots. That's shady. I want to see signatures on each one of them. And they better be alive. People that are alive. You know what I mean? 2,000 in Florida times 100. Yep. What can Trump do? He can sue, and he's suing right now. He can demand a recount. Yes, he can. That's going on in Michigan. Sounds legit. He has to be within 1%. No, he does not. Redo the vote all in person. That would be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's definitely that close in North Carolina. I know, right? But why not do it on day one or on one day, all in person? Show ID. That makes too much. I know it does. Arizona's a blue state now. Yeah, I'd say so. It's screaming corruption. Revolution V2. Version 2. Though they thought Texas would flip, not Arizona. I thought Arizona was going to flip. Texas has got maybe another election cycle, and then they'll flip too. It's amazing how much corruption is out there. Breathtaking, really. I feel like something is big about to happen. If Trump declares martial law, he will remain as president. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think Trump's going to do that. Trump is a lot of things. He's not a tyrant. No matter what JPTV3 says, right? He's not. If it comes down that he lost the election and we go through all these lawsuits, I expect him to step down. He's not going to start martial law. Unleashed Rider says it would be a banana republic. It kind of is. It kind of is, especially with ballot harvesting. If you look into ballot harvesting, and we did a few weeks ago or a week ago or so, ballot harvesting has Banana Republic written all over it. And I am not cool with that at all. Courts will not do a dang thing. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Shenanigans unfolded exactly as predicted in several blue battleground states where President Trump translated a heavy campaign presence into encouraging leads, only to see them suspiciously erode overnight. I already read this whole story. The whole story I already read. I'm starting all over. Arizona is not a blue state. I'm from Arizona. So am I. I am born and raised. I've lived here since 1975. Arizona was one of the reddest states in the Union. But ever since we decided to observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day, it's kind of gone downhill. I'm not saying Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't a great man, and he probably definitely deserves a holiday. But it was back then when I noticed at that young age of whatever I was at the time, that this state was starting to go a different direction. When I was a kid, it was about 50% of the people that would wear a gun on their hip. You would see one every time you walked out to do anything in Arizona. Now that's rare. It's very rare. You still see it. Definitely still see it, but it's more rare. But I've been seeing the trend. And is it people moving from from California to Arizona? Probably part of it, right? But I think there's also some shenanigans going in play as well, a little bit. Sounds like we need to revote. Absolutely Banana Republic, no questions about it. Casa Grande. Casa Grande, right on. Nice. Right now I live in the Phoenix area, but I grew up in Maricopa, which is a very small town, kind of close to Casa Grande-ish, right? Yeah, cool. That was around 1995. Yep. I was a senior in high school for the second time. Pennsylvania governor dismisses concerns about voter fraud as Trump points out red flags. Pennsylvania Democratic Governor Tom Wolf claimed on Wednesday that President Trump's concerns about voter fraud in the state are a partisan attack on the election process. Of course. But videos of GOP poll watchers being denied entry into the counting process in Pennsylvania and the state's own election laws that allow absentee and mail-in ballots to be counted through next week prove Trump is right to be concerned. Trump enjoys a comfortable lead in Pennsylvania right now, but Democratic election officials are working hard to make sure Biden wins the state, Trump says. Wolf responded and said Pennsylvania election officials are working tireless to count more than 1 million mail-in ballots. The number of votes left to be counted changed, however, when the Pennsylvania Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar said Wednesday morning that there is still millions of ballots left to be counted. Trump pointed out this discrepancy. Interesting. Will Trump go peacefully? I think he's going to fight it in court. I think he will fight this in court for as long as he needs to, and if it needs to go to the Supreme Court, it will. However, I think once all the avenues have been exhausted, I think he will step down. I think he won't do it happily, but I think he will do it. I don't think he's going to be every year. I mean, we had the same thing. We had the same people saying the same thing about Obama. Obama's going to declare martial law and stay president forever, especially when Trump first won, right? Oh, well, he's just going to declare martial law, then Trump can't take office. It's always somebody's going to declare martial law. It's not going to happen, I don't think. Trump will go peacefully, but only if he's shown he really lost fair and square, as it should be. If he didn't lose fair and square, why should he leave office? I don't know. Not to be a dick, I guess. I mean, if you're out of options, if you exhaust all the options, he should exhaust all options, right? He should definitely exhaust all the options. But once all of them have exhausted, what else can you do? Right? Nothing legally. Update, Maine Senate, Susan Collins retains her seat in a hotly contested race. Gerald B. is from Maine. I'd like to know his opinion on this, but I don't see him in chat tonight. Fairfax County, Virginia, with 1/2 of the votes left to count. Biden jumped 400,000 votes in Virginia. Isn't that convenient? And I wonder if they all have signatures. And if they're all alive. I moved to Tennessee. Tennessee? Oh, I love Tennessee. Tennessee is beautiful. So you're no longer in Casa Grande. Tennessee was like on one of the top states that I wanted to go to. So I'm looking to leave Arizona. But then I decided I'd rather go to South Dakota, only because they're freedom-loving people more than Tennessee. Hey, let's see, Sharpie Gate. Yeah, we talked about Sharpie Gate already. In fact, here, if you missed it, here is a spoiled ballot that Riddle Girl cast that the machine spit out, and she had to redo her ballot. So they gave her this one, said that they wanted her to shred it. She said, no, I'm taking it home with me. We both complained about the Sharpies at the polling place. She kept hers, so we have a prime example of the bleed through right here. You can actually see, and I showed it already, you can see right there where it bleeds through. There's a couple here on the other side where it bleeds through. Will that mean anything? I don't know. Hopefully they'll recount it. Will they do it? I don't know. If he stays in office, even after he loses, that's a tyrant. I agree. Warrior for Truth. Biden is a bumbling idiot. Yes, he is, but he still might be president. I agree, but let's say you were gambling and the other guy is cheating. Would you pay out? Here's the thing. You try to prove it, right? You try to prove it. If you cannot prove it, you have to bow out. I mean, in gambling, I guess it's a little different in gambling than it is in politics, but at the same time, what's your other option? Are we in the Old West and you're calling him a cheat without proof? Because if you're in the Old West and you're calling him a cheat and you don't have proof, you go outside and you duel, right? That's the only other option at this point. If Trump, which I don't think Trump would do anything, he would not call for insurrection or anything like that. He's not going to try to stay in office. He's going to bow down gracefully if he runs out of legal options. That's my opinion. They voted for Kamala, not Biden. I know that. Biden will get sick. Yeah, I know. 1.5 or 1/2 of 1%. 1/2 of 1% left to count. Where's that at? Anyway, here we go. Republican U.S. Senator Susan Collins of Maine has won the hardest fought race of her career, turning back a challenge by Democratic Sarah Gilden as surviving to serve a 5th term. Collins, one of 4 candidates on the ballot, won a majority of first place votes. That meant no additional tabulation rounds were necessary. Under Maine's ranked choice voting system, I would love to have a universal voting method. It would be nice. Gideon has conceded, telling his supporters on Wednesday that she called Collins and congratulated her on her win. Original article was 4 of the Senate races that were expected to be tight are close to being called, but here's what we know. Arizona Republican incumbent Senator Martha McSally is well behind Democratic opponent Mark Kelly. Yep. There's no question on that one. Several outlets have already called the race for Kelly, who was up by 52.6% compared to McSally's 47.4%, with 83% of the votes reported. McSally could gain on Kelly as the vote totals continue to come in, but that looks unlikely. Kelly consistently outpolled McSally throughout their race, prompting her at one point to publicly ask supporters to forgo eating and send her the cash they saved. Yeah, and what did she do with that cash that they saved? She sent everybody one of these plastic pieces of literature with Mark Kelly on it, that when you turned it this way, it was him in his astronaut outfit. And then when you turned it this way, it turned to him in a Chinese astronaut outfit with President Chang or whatever behind him, saying, who's he really for? So you did, that had to cost a little bit of money, at least 50 cents per, or maybe a quarter per. And you sent that out to everybody in America, or in Arizona? Yeah, there's what you did with your extra money. How about, and this is what pisses me off about McSally. She was appointed, I believe. She wasn't voted in originally. And she's like totally for red flag laws. Maybe it was because Trump was for red flag laws, but I'll tell you what, the people that you want to support you here in Arizona, in a constitutional carry state, are not for red flag laws. And you turned a lot of those people off, including myself, but I still voted for you. But I wasn't passionate about it. I only voted for you because I didn't want Mark Kelly to win, although I knew he was going to anyway. If 100,000 votes come in out of 100% for Biden, it seems probable that they are cheating. I would agree. Well, maybe Jimmy Dore is right. If Biden gets elected, the next Trump will be worse. For Jimmy's perspective, maybe the next guy will be better from my point of view. Pima County is liberal. Maricopa is more red. Pima County, yeah, had the sheriff that was a homo for a while, which is fine. I don't care. But now they have sheriff. Who is the sheriff of Pima? The new sheriff, or the sheriff of Pima County now. He just had the Rona not too long ago. He was a really cool dude. I forget his name.
Lamb.
Sheriff Lamb. Looking at a vote counted map for Arizona, it seems skewed for sure. In Fairfax County, I may have said half, but it was half of 1%. So yes, I got it. I honestly think Trump will declare martial law if protests start. Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree, because I disagree with that. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not in Trump's head. But I just disagree with it. We'll see. We will be on this story as it develops, as long as it takes. I've already mentioned that. After we decide who our next president will be, we will go to once a week evening catch-ups. It'll be the weekly catch-up and not the evening catch-up. So I do appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget to check out the descriptions. There's plenty of great links in there. First one is to Adam Lawson's Blessed. That's the song that plays before I come on live. Next is all the causes that I believe in and support, including ProjectRecover.org that goes out and looks for lost service members and brings their remains home to their families. Also, Irish USMC Vet, a good friend of mine here on the YouTube, is trying to set up a location in Tennessee where veterans can come and live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. Next is all the places that you can follow me other than on YouTube. If you're watching me on DLive, I am also on YouTube. So check out all the different places that you can follow me. And lastly, if you want to donate to this channel or to myself, I have ways of doing that down below as well. So thank you very much for all that. I honestly, let's see, yeah, but Pro 2 Amendment, Arizona is voting for Biden. Arizona voted for Biden, yeah. As I said, we voted constitutional carry back when I first got into the Arizona state, which it was still red. We had Janet Brewer as governor at the time. But now we got legalized marijuana, and that's like the number one way to know when your state's turning over to being a blue state is you get legalized marijuana. And yeah, you have constitutional carry here, but almost every business has a no gun sign on it. Looks like even if Trump gets PA, AK, NC, and Georgia, he'll still lose unless they fix the corrupt ballot crap. Yeah, exactly. So here's the only way that Trump can win. If he loses Michigan and he loses Wisconsin, he has to retain the ones that he's leading in right now, which is Georgia, North Carolina, and Arkansas. But he then has to flip Arizona. If he doesn't flip Arizona, then he has to win either Wisconsin or Michigan. So no matter what, he needs to hold on to what he's already got, and he needs to flip either Arizona, Wisconsin, or Michigan. That's the only way he wins. So one of those three states has to have a recount and has to prove that Trump actually won that state. If he can do that, Trump wins. If he cannot do that and it stays like it is right now, Biden wins. There you go. Great show as always. Thank you, Skyrim. I appreciate it. Arizona Blue Wave. Yeah, it looks like it, right? I don't know, man. I've lost faith in Arizona, to be honest. It's sad because I love the state. It's an absolutely beautiful state. And I've always liked the history of the state. I make $85,000 a year, and Biden will screw me so bad on taxes. I've always had a crappy job, and they're gonna take away my hard-earned earnings. Yes, they will. Because you can't have free stuff without somebody having to pay for it. All right, guys, that's all I got for you for this evening. Make sure to check us out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That was about 55 minutes ago, so set your watches to that because I don't know what daylight savings time is right now, and I haven't fixed my end screen. I have been very busy, not getting very much sleep, and I feel like I'm broken patriot because all I'm drinking lately is coffee to keep me going and keep me awake. So I do appreciate everybody being here. It's because of you guys that makes this fun, is why I continue to do it. So thank you very much. Until tomorrow, make sure you keep your family close. Watch out for that government and try to live as free as you can in whatever tyrannical government we find ourselves living in tomorrow. Until then, though, peace with you. Peace be with you, all right?